I am Sor Talgron. I was born and raised in one of the lower castes of Kolkis, and if not for the Word-Bearer Legion, I wouldn't have a worthy future ahead of me. Quickly advancing my military career, I became one of the youngest warriors to achieve the rank of captain of the 31st Assault Company of the Perpetual Spiral Chapter. By the decision of our Primarch, the chapter was primarily engaged in organizing the defenses of conquered worlds, where, among other things, we spread our faith. Faith in the God Emperor, Lactitio Divinitatis. I was never religious and viewed it merely as additional duties. I was a soldier. I believed in strategy and tactics, boots on the ground and armor on my back. I believed in bolters and blood, logistics, and commands on the battlefield. Thus, in the condemnation of our legion by the Emperor, I saw only the fact that the 17th had let the Imperium down. So after our condemnation, when the Word-Bearers began actively bringing worlds into compliance without building temples and other religious trappings, I clearly saw my purpose. This was my war, and it was a lie. By that time, Lorgar had already secretly turned against the Imperium and its people, as I was told by him during the compliance of World 4716, where we did not only exterminate the inhabitants which were already willing to accept compliance, we sacrificed them. Sacrificed them to the old gods that had been worshipped back on Kolkis. It was then I heard from Lorgar the phrase that Lactitio Divinitatis was nothing. From then, the 17th Legion of the Word-Bearers chose a different path. A path of lies and betrayal in alliance with the ruinous powers of the warp. In them, our Primarch found the gods he had always looked for, and I became a part of that path. I despised what the Legion was becoming. Dark apostles, demons, bloody rituals, and sacrifices that began on 4716 became a usual occurrence. I even hated the new colors of the armor that Lorgar had chosen for the Legion. The dark symbols etched upon our armor burned my eyes. Yet, I remained true to the Word-Bearers, faithful to my Primarch. The Legion was my life. It always has been. And it was not for me to decide what was right and what was wrong, for that would be determined by the victor. I was a soldier, as I had always been. I did what I was commanded. Nothing changed in me, and in the company I led, the most ardent fanatics I exiled to die on Kolthan assault groups. For I needed warriors, not fanatics infected by the taint of chaos. This helped me disguise myself as one of the loyalists when the treacherous strike was dealt. When the war known as the Horus Heresy fully began, I was on Terra as a special representative of the 17th Legion. Having established myself as a loyal warrior of the Emperor, even Rogel Dorn could not suspect me in heresy, which allowed me to prepare for the future invasion of the Throne World. For this goal, I sacrificed my unsuspecting old friend and mentor, Terran-born officer Volkar Reth, offering him on the altar of a dark ritual for the good of the forthcoming victories. Even this did not break me, or in my choice to not let the taint into my soul and fanaticism into my thoughts. I was self-sufficient, and neither Dark Apostles, nor any of the demons, nor even my Primarch could sway me to make me pray to the new gods. I had not prayed a single day in my life, not even when I was a child on Kolkis, and I had no intention of starting now. I did not even feel hatred for my enemies, and forbade any desecration of fallen opponents, seeing in them foes only because in this war, they found themselves on the opposite side. I respected my enemy, and on Perception Primus, we faced the 13th Legion, the most effective war machine against which I had ever fought. They were defeated, but even in their demise, they executed a tactical maneuver, dealing a phosphorus strike upon the planet that they could not hold. I could have escaped if I followed Apostle Yarulak through a warp portal, but I did not abandon my warriors. I was ready to die. I was ready for eternal torment. For what we had done, death came from my mutilated body, burned in the flames of phosphex on the surgical table. My Primarch, Lorgar Aurelian, brought me back. He lifted me from the darkness, and I saw the gods. Despite the monstrous injuries and limb amputation, I was not buried in the sarcophagus of a dreadnought. They created a new body for me with the help of bionics and augments. My eyes became black spheres, attuned to the warp and its variations. They gave me a unique vision which I found pleasant. Now, I believed and considered my existence up to that point empty. My path is the path of the Legion. Now, I saw it clearly, rising from the darkness of non-existence. Now I had everything: clarity, purpose, conviction, faith. Participating in a siege of terror for which I did so much in my past life. I was gravely wounded again, and what I had always feared happened to me. I became a dreadnought, the harbinger of war. That was what they called me now. A monstrous chaos dreadnought. Those like me quickly went mad, but I remained stable for most of the time. Erebus believed that the cause was in the strength and sincerity of my faith in the Pantheon. Nevertheless, sometimes in the heat of battle, I forgot who I was and where I was. In those moments, I once again relived the Siege of Terra. I will die during the battle for Boros Prime, where I faced the Necron Lord. And despite managing to slay him, the subsequent explosion ended my life. Even so, the surviving sarcophagus still serves Boreas Drakshal, honored with the blessing of the Dark Gods to be placed within it, to continue bearing the true faith of undivided chaos through battle. But this is not my story to tell.